Yeah, you hear me say, like, man, I talk about movies. When I leave here, you know, I let that shit go. And I'm doing all that passionate shit. That's all. I'm playing that up. That's bullshit. No, this one, if I hear you talking about this at a bar, I will punch the fuck out of you, man. So y'all know, in about, I don't know, Martin, in about 6 days, 5 if you count Thursday, they got that Alien Covenant coming out.
All of this to start our new life.
Oh, some people looking at this and they're saying, man, I'm looking forward to this. They're like, man, they look like they're going back to Alien basics. You know, you got the action in there that reminds me of Aliens, but you're going back to classic horror with Alien. And your boy Ridley Scott. Oh, shit, he's back until somebody reminds you that he was back for Prometheus, too. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. An extra mouth come out your mouth. Fuck. But, you know, I'm looking forward to it. Actually saw it. You saw it with me.
I did.
And we have the review coming up very soon for this.
But not today.
Not
that soon.
No, some people are saying, man, you know.
Come on, man. Just drop the review. Other people have.
Yeah. Quit tripping. Man, quit bogarting the review. Spill that shit, motherfucker. You know, no, we want to wait. And a lot of people have been saying, man, go ahead and put the review out, because there are a lot of people who saw it early also, sure. And they've been putting the review. And they say, hey, you can get some extra hits, and you can kind of ride the wave of the trend, the trending that's going on with it right now. And
that's not the DT way.
That is not the double toasted way. We have integrity. Yeah, but you need to get some integrity. But,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, we ain't really got that.
That costs a little bit extra.
No, we don't really have that. Which is to say that, yeah, we want to get some of them hits. I ain't gonna lie to you. We want to ride that wave, that trend. So what we decided to do is, and plus, I'm a huge Alien and Aliens fan. I'm huge with it. And
why wouldn't you be? They're awesome movies.
No, they're amazing movies, but they're younger people who are coming up. And I'm not criticizing anybody, but they didn't come up when the original movies came out.
Sure.
And for some reason, they have just a whole different outlook on these films. Even some of the unpopular ones that the fans had who saw the originals during their original release. And so I hadn't watched a lot of these movies more than once, to be honest with you. So I went and revisited some of these films in spurts and watched some clips and whatnot, and decided to get with Martin and talk about our favorite to least favorite in the series. Now, that does not include Alien and Aliens, because don't nobody need to question them no more. Right. Don't you dare ask them nothing. You know, they did their job.
My question is, does it include Alien versus Predator?
Well, Martin, you know what? When I told you to think about this, I said include everything. Everything that's out there, even the Alien cartoon. There ain't no Alien cartoon. People are like, what? For real? No. I mean, unless you count half these movies being goddamn cartoons.
Okay. All right.
But let me see what we got here. So I decided to go ahead and, like I said, start it from best to worst. I'm going to share my notes with Martin over here.
Right.
So let me go ahead and start out with, and when I say favorite, you know, that's all relative. But I guess if you count the films outside of Alien and Aliens, my favorite would be Prometheus.
Okay.
And Prometheus, listen, y'all heard me complain about Prometheus. I'm not a huge fan of Prometheus. Now, I admire Prometheus for what it tried to do, and that's going to play that's going to be a big factor in my decision in saying it's my favorite out of the ones outside of Alien and Aliens.
And was discovered in every one of them. You're smiling.
I think they want us to come and find them.
And them, you know, this is where Ridley Scott came in and said, man, look, people have seen aliens and predators fighting each other. Y'all done been aliened to death. Why don't we go explore some other mysteries that are out there? You know, why don't we explore where the aliens, not only just the aliens came from, but he got deep with it. He's like, well, how about mankind? You know, how about humanity?
Sure.
And I thought, okay, that's kind of ambitious to do that, and I admire that. But for a movie that wants to be so deep, it's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, you know, don't let him run this whole philosophical game on y'all. The writing in this movie is atrocious in some parts. logical things that the audience could see, where if the average person was writing this script, they say nobody would ever do that. They got these scientists in the movie. And how you gonna be a scientist on an alien planet looking at an alien creature talking about what's up, cutie, and reach your hand out to touch it and then look surprised when you get that alien dick in your mouth? You know, it's like,
Well, you know what? I could defend that to a degree.
how so?
Well, okay, so one, like we know to be afraid of that because we've seen aliens in the movies and all this.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you have to look at it from the perspective of these guys. They haven't seen that. All they know is that there's life. And it's also a thing where Guy Pearce, the millionaire who's putting this together, he says early on how this is a mission that no reputable scientist would take. That's why he got all these fringe scientists.
So you got all these dumbass
I mean,
scientists.
pretty much, he was like, I'll get a punk rock scientist and somebody here who has this other this research that's controversial because other scientists are like, yeah, we don't know about that. But they were the ones who were like, well, this is an opportunity, we're gonna take it, because every other reputable scientist was like, no, I don't think so.
But another problem with these creatures, and you already mentioned it, and I think that you and I, we can meet here at this point and agree, is that Ridley Scott kept saying to people, he was talking about how, you know, and this is another case of old Hollywood, not legendary Hollywood, not being able to work in new Hollywood. Because Ridley Scott kept saying, I want you to know, this is a thinking man science fiction film. This is not an alien film. This is not an alien film. This is not an alien film. And that alien
Until it
said,
is.
bullshit. Motherfucker, I got a contract.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
it is that whole. No. Benedict Cumberbatch, he's not Khan. I promise you.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, is he Khan? Sorry.
And by the end of that movie, aliens, that not only. Look how long that shit lasted too. The alien said, shit, I'm gonna get my screen time.
I wish you could have seen it with him so I could lean over and say, are you sure this isn't an alien movie?
Y'all see how long that lasted? This is not an alien movie. For 2 minutes, we had this alien up here looking like Mick Jagger. Hi, y'all. How y'all doing? Hi. Like, hey, excuse me? Just because you save this shit for the end of the movie doesn't mean that it's not an alien movie. And one of the things this is why I don't really blame Ridley Scott, because the studio said, if there ain't no alien in there,
Yeah, what are we doing here?
how are we gonna get our money? You better cram that motherfucker in there somewhere. And I'm gonna tell you something. Because you're sitting up here talking about, well, if this is your favorite out of all of them, you shit don't sound like it right now because you've done nothing but talk shit about this. Well, I tell you one of the things that I like about it and why it's my favorite out of all the others outside of the two films that are praised the most. It tries to advance the story.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know.
Even though it's a prequel, so it can't possibly advance the story.
Not too much, but there was some mystery there.
Sure.
You know, you had the space jockey that everybody questioned themselves. We find out now they're not jockeys, they're engineers.
Yeah.
You know, big white Aryan dudes, you know.
Oh, man, Hitler was right.
Yeah. Fucking Aryans in space, you know. These albinos that they had here. And, you know, and it was, I think it was better when it was a mystery, but I think that Ridley Scott sincerely tried to add value to these stories by coming in and trying to discover or evaluate and put some questions and answers to some of the mysteries that were out there. And I admired that. Not loving it, but impressed with what he was able to do with the limited power that he had and the limitations of the final script, which was not a very good script. Which is why I can appreciate, which is going to be my controversial choice here. A lot of people are going to say, like, when you hear this, they're going to be like, no, man, whatever you say from this point on, you were wrong. You were invalid. Get the fuck out of here with that, because no one would ever say this if they're a true Alien fan. My favorite one outside of Prometheus is Alien versus Predator.
No.
Hey,
man. No, you know what, dude?
Wow, he has never laughed at me, though. He just told me to go fuck myself.
I got your back on this.
Man, and you know what? And one of my biggest arguments, I can't even make anymore. And I said, well, it's not really canon to the other series. And they're like, well, Lance Reddick is in there. What's his name? Lance
Henriksen.
Lance Henriksen, who was working for the Weyland-Yutani company or corporation. And look, people, hear my argument right here. Just Ian, hear me out, brother. Hear me out, sir, because I can vouch for this. It is not by any means a good movie. at all. But I'm wanting to tell you something. And you know, and here's the other thing. I understand that there are people who hate this out of everything else because they feel like this is the one that ruined the whole franchise. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Come on now. Sigourney Weaver has come out and says, I despise that film. That's the one that ruined the whole franchise. I'm like, baby, you were there for one of those.
Yeah, you were in two of those. Come on.
And you were there, the one that you don't want to say which one because you got paid. In fact, her whole thing was, and this is an indicator of what movies are going to come up. She was asking about shaving her head for one of these movies. And they said, do you care about doing that? She's like, I don't care as long as you give me more money. You can shave my pubic hair for all I give a fuck. I'll be clean as hell for this. But with hear me out on this. Alien versus Predator. If you watch it seriously as a B movie, and even if it is considered to be canon with the original series, it is so far detached from that, you don't have to include it. It's in a different time period. It doesn't include. They don't force Sigourney Weaver in there.
Right.
You know, they don't force any of the other characters in there. It's really a standalone film when you think about it. And I know it's kind of silly, but one of the things that I like about this is that, again, they're trying to, it might not work for everybody, but they're trying to advance some ideas. One of the things that they did in the comics for Alien versus Predator is that they explained the connection between the two. They said that the predators actually use the eggs to impregnate prey.
Yeah.
So that when they can create these hybrid of
sure, if you can hunt and kill these, you can kill anything.
Yeah, so they can create these xenomorphs with different breeds, and they can go after them. In the movie, look, you might not like it, but the movie didn't just repeat a creature running through a space corridor chasing people. They introduced some cool sci-fi ideas.
What did you say this room was called?
Sacrificial chamber.
They're not hunting us. We're in the middle of a war.
You know, and I'm gonna tell you something. Whether you again like it or not, they were more true to the nature of the creatures in the movie, the Predator and the aliens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why I put this up there over any other movie that's out besides Prometheus. And once you hear what I'm saying, you're going to see my point. And the other thing is, I think this movie gets a bad rap because of what it is in title, what it is in nature, and who's behind it. Anytime you do a something versus something, that's cheesy, man.
Sure,
It's
like Freddy versus Jason.
It's like Freddy, they are. Are you ready for Freddy Martin? And you know, yeah, Freddy versus Jason, dumb as shit,
Batman
man.
versus Superman.
Yeah, it don't ever work. It don't ever work well. It don't. You know.
Yeah, it's something that 13-year-olds get really crazy about. And then once you see it, you're like, why did we do this?
Man, we do that shit with action figures. When you put that shit on screen, it don't work. And I get it. It's cheesy. So when you put Alien versus Predator in there, a series that's highly revered by the audiences and, you know, known for at least attempting to have some good sci-fi writing, it's dumb. I get it. But I don't think that is something that should be totally held against it. And the other thing, it's the person that's behind it, Paul W.S. Anderson, man.
Yeah.
Critics hate this fool.
Sure.
Rightfully so, most of the time. I ain't gonna try to take no hate away from him. He is the Michael Bay of cheap action movies and sci-fi and horror
But
films.
his stuff is cheap. Like Michael Bay, his stuff, it's obnoxious and it's overly long and overly drawn out and it's too much money thrown at it. And Paul W.S. Anderson, his are smaller. They don't take a whole lot of your time. They move quickly. They're in and out. They're dumb. There's no getting around that.
but he knows it, man.
If you don't see it at midnight, where you were tired when you saw it, you're like, okay.
And you know, and here's where we get to my third on that list. We have, what is it, 5 movies I think outside of Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
So my third one, because a lot of people are saying, really, you gonna put Alien versus Predator over Alien 3? You goddamn right I am. This movie pisses me the fuck off, man.
You know why it pisses you off?
Why?
Okay, so it's David Fincher, one of his early movies, a movie that he has since devoured. Like, take my name off that shit. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
You hate it because within it, at parts, there's some really good parts to it.
Man, there is.
I mean, it sucks because it opens with Newt and Michael Hicks being dead. And you're like, well, goddamn, I followed them all through the second movie, and then you just write them off. You kill them off screen before this even starts. Well, that sucks. But once you get to the prison, this whole thing of her being on the prison and infected, it's really interesting. Plus, the prisoners are like, yeah, having a woman here, this is not a good deal for us at all.
Yeah, it's some interesting ideas going on.
The suspense is back.
And we have no...
Stop playing that goddamn music. You didn't earn that. They pulled that music from Aliens. Here's the thing why I really despise this film. Don't fuck with my aliens. When I say that, I'm talking about Aliens, the movie. I love Alien and Aliens so much, and I really love Aliens. It's in my top 5 of favorite movies. I can watch that movie over and over again, and you should too, because it is an incredible piece of writing, of pacing, and just character development, which is why
it's also the way to do a sequel.
Yeah,
a sequel based on a really good movie.
It advances the story.
Yeah, and you take it in a different direction.
But this shit right here, yeah, maybe it's a shallow thing, but the moment they killed Newt, and the moment they killed Hicks, this turned into a run-of-the-mill alien film. You know, the reason why that's so important. I'm not just, this is not just some detail that I'm just being, I'm being a fanboy about and I can't forgive. You had these characters, Newt and Hicks, Corporal Hicks, played by Michael Biehn, and you spent so much time developing these characters. You spent so much time getting the audience to invest in them. Yeah. Invest in them. And then that was a wasted opportunity when you get to this planet right here. This planet didn't have a whole lot going on as it was. They had interesting ideas, but they didn't do too much with it. And with Newt and Hicks dead, that takes away from a lot of things, a lot of potential that they could have done with this environment right here. Imagine if they were Newt, Hicks, and Ripley were a family unit protecting each other against all these people, these dangerous people on this planet, this prison planet. Imagine if they were having to come together and that's all they had was each other, and the crowd would have been so invested in that even more. This is David Fincher's first big feature right here. He's 29 years old when he did this. And he
had the studio up his ass.
Studio would not leave him. They were all up his ass.
I mean, the thing is, it had been written and rewritten and tossed around so much before he even got on it.
Yep.
So him being a new young director, he had no power.
And he even says today, he says, man, you know who hates that movie more than anybody? Me. You know who hates this movie more than me? Me. There's something from him right here. David Fincher on Alien 3. No one hated it more than me. To this day, no one hates it more than me. Let me be clear. I hate that fucking movie. And Martin is right. The studio was all up his ass on that. And that makes it even more insulting, because the reason why they killed these characters that we love is because the studio didn't know what they were doing. And what's even more infuriating about that is that they actually had some good ideas floating around. Now, some of them were kind of dumb. There's one of the scripts was by a guy named, I think, Vincent Ward, and he had this whole idea for a wooden planet.
A wooden Death Star.
A fucking treehouse in space. It's like, how the fuck? Okay, sure. This is the early 90s. They were all coked up trying to make this movie right here. But the other thing is that, looking at this, the movie was such a mess. The production was such a mess. They took months off. I think like 3 to 6 months off from production because they were trying to get the ideas together. And during that time, they were so confused that they even released a teaser when the movie wasn't even finished. They released a teaser for a movie that doesn't exist. And it's out there. I remember being at a theater.
Oh, you don't have it?
Oh, it's out there. We out here. It's because the whole idea one time was to bring the aliens to Earth, the xenomorphs to Earth, and they they jumped the gun, put a teaser out for an idea that never happened.
In 1992, we will discover on Earth, everyone can hear you scream.
Not if you ain't there, which never happened. There was so many indicators about how confused this movie was that made it into the feature, made it into, like we just saw, made it into theaters before the movie was even there. It's so confusing that they have two different versions because here's the deal. You know, one of the things these movies do, they always talk about you know, if nothing else, we got that new alien for you, that new shit. And they couldn't even figure out how to do it here. They were struggling with David Fincher so much that they wanted to do different versions of where the alien came from. One came from a dog, which you saw in the original,
right? And
then in the theatrical release. And then David Fincher, I think, originally had it coming out of a bull-type creature on that planet.
An ox.
An ox, yeah. And they got that dog. The dog, like, for real, man. Got me looking like an anorexic model right now.
I just spent 13 hours in makeup.
Yeah, that dog got cornrows on his face.
I haven't eaten in so long.
We're looking at a picture of the dog where they got him in alien makeup and prosthetics. He does not look happy. That dog.
You should totally get that from Mojo.
That dog had to stick his paw down his throat to get to looking like that. But you know, it is such a mess of production. And the last thing I'll say here is that if you look out there are better scripts that you can find online. I read a little bit of it. I don't even know if it was all that great, but it's better ideas that are going on. There's a script going around online by William Gibson, and you can see it with storyboards and everything. So you can visually see how some of it really acts out. And I can tell you there were better ideas in that script than what they did here at all. I
read that Fincher was directing, and they didn't even have a script for him at first.
And they didn't have a script for him while he was doing it. It kept changing. It must have been hell for him to work on this movie, man, because they didn't have anything. They had nothing for him, but they were always on his ass.
Yeah.
And to see a movie get made like that, and you know the history behind it and the things that could be better in it, yeah, that's why I hate this movie so much.
Yeah, I get why you hate it, and for the most part, I don't care for it either. But there are parts of it. I remember seeing this, and while I hated the beginning, I was like, you know what? It's picking up, and maybe everybody shouldn't have hated on it so much. But then the alien comes out, and it killed the most interesting character they had.
And you wondering why? I'm sitting up here talking about why I love Alien versus Predator more than I love that movie. I would take a cheesy B movie that tries to do something different any day over some fucking art film that doesn't know what it's doing. It ruins the progression of a good story.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, when it was done, it was like, all right, they're going to have to do some major cleanup and reset to get this story back on track.
And that is why I was excited for...
so were we all.
I thought, but boy, that resurrection, it will resurrect the series. They're going to do something.
And directed by Genet, who had done Delicatessen, which I loved to death. I saw the movie 3 times in the theater.
Oh, I know. Alien Resurrection, I thought was going to be the one to do it. Nope. Did the same old shit. It did the same thing where it was just a forced sequel that forced Sigourney Weaver or Ripley back into it.
You're a thing, a construct. They grew you in a lab.
What the hell is going on here?
He is breeding an alien species.
Now, that's the thing. I said, wow, they're breeding an alien species. Maybe we'll do this whole thing. We play with different kind of aliens. And plus...
I think that was the idea.
That was, and you were right.
Because they already had the toys out. Yes. I own those toys.
Well, they weren't. There were toys out there where the aliens were different things, but they were not connected to any of these movies. None of them. You know, they were just standalone toys. It's funny how even the toys had better concepts.
Right. But them making those toys, I was like, all right, somebody has this idea.
Somebody's
taking advantage
of this.
Into a movie.
Yeah. And you know, and I look at and Martin is right. The director here is Jean-Pierre Jeunet. I'm like, who? You know,
he did Amelie. If that helps.
He did Amelie, but he also did, as Martin said, Delicatessen, City of Lost Children. Those are 90s movies. So if you haven't seen any of those, I really highly recommend that you see at least City of Lost Children. It's one of the most incredible visual worlds that I've seen on screen. That's why I thought, man, this guy, he's gonna bring it. He's gonna do something here. And turns out, studio got involved. They made another forgettable run-of-the-mill alien film.
Well, once again, this was one of these things where they had so many different directors. They kept attaching to this, trying to talk them into it. Hey, they had Bryan Singer on the hook at one point.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There was a bunch of different guys. I wish I could remember the names of some of them because they're prominent. If I rattled them off, you'd know. But like Bryan Singer was the last one before they went to Genet.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Here's the thing. That whole thing of them talking about that they were going to, okay, you know something, but here's the deal. We're experimenting with different alien types. we're going to do a hybrid, and this is going to be something you never seen before. And that shit came out looking like an alien cross with cake batter.
Oh, that's right. When they finally got to that.
The alien baby?
Oh, that was the worst.
It was so, even that effect is like, kill me, man. You done already killed the series. So, yeah, it was a creepy idea, but it was, they didn't do it right. It's like Ripley had a baby alien that was bigger than her, and that was it treated her like it was its mother, and it just came out just weird instead of anything else.
Yeah. And this movie was written by Joss Whedon, which
Yeah.
I mean, to his credit, man, I was reading how they made him rewrite this so many times. He had like 30 drafts of it, and his plan was always for them to reach Earth and it to go, from there. But that just never happened. And he was like, well, maybe they'll put it in the next movie.
Oh, this movie reached Earth, all right. We saw it. Shoot that motherfucker out of an airball somewhere, because it's a nice attempt, and it's a shame that the studio doesn't give these directors and writers a chance to do something really cool, to intervene, and that's been the biggest problem with this.
Oh yeah.
But that brings me to not only one of my most despised movies as an alien film, but ever
in general,
ever. Now, y'all talk, and you hear me say, like, man, I talk about movies when I leave here, I let that shit go, and I'm doing all that passionate shit. That's all. I'm playing that up. That's bullshit. No, this one, if I hear you talking about this at a bar, I will punch the fuck out of you, man. I hate this shit more than politics. I'm talking about Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Oh,
this
you can't punch me because I never saw it.
Oh, and Martin, I almost wish you had,
so you could punch me,
so I could hit you. give me a reason to do it. I would never harm you, man. But if I ever hear you utter the words, man, Alien versus Predator Requiem, man, that's kind of cool. I will fucking hurt you. I don't want to, but I will. This movie. The reason why this makes me so mad, it's a fanboy film.
Oh, didn't they talk a lot of shit about how they were going to make the best alien movie of all?
These guys called the Strauss brothers.
Yeah.
They were talking about if there is no bigger fan than us, and that's why we're going to put this shit back on track. In fact, we might even give Jim Cameron a run for his money. We're going to make the ultimate, not only alien movie, but Predator movie. All in one. And they end up being a bunch of fanboys with their dicks in their hands. This movie just, it's guys just, what they're doing is they're geeking out over movies that are way better than this piece of shit that they made.
Uh-huh.
This is a...
Well, they do have the aliens on Earth, right?
And that's when
they accomplished what nobody else could do.
And that's when you realize, they were better in space. Because that tagline was true. When they got on Earth, everybody could hear us screaming, "What the fuck? Is this shit? What?" Hold on.
The tower is completely...
And you saw that right there where, watching the trailer right now, and there was a clip where there was a guy's face melting, of course, from the alien acid blood.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why this pisses me off. These guys, they are fans to the point where they don't have one fucking original thought in their head.
Yeah.
Not one. Everything that they did in this movie, don't even use that word homage. Fuck you, bullshit. That's not true. What you did was you just copied horribly things that you admired from the other films. And I look at some of the stuff that they've done, which is, you know what? It's disrespectful, some of the things they did here. It was so unoriginal. They got a guy in the movie called Dallas, which is and Tom Skerritt, of course, was
from
Captain
movie.
Dallas from Alien.
Yeah.
How dare you? How fucking dare you? They got
they're not related. I take it.
No.
Okay.
No. And if that took place on Earth in like present times. So I wish they would try to make some connection later on.
Yeah, wait, all the alien stuff takes place in the future. How are they here on Earth now?
Because it's cheaper to do it that way.
Oh, okay. I just meant story-wise.
It makes no sense. The reason why they put it on Earth is because they just want, first of all, it was a way to do a bunch of hard cliches while working in that genre, while trying to cherry pick from the other movies and apply them to your film. They had like rip-offs of Ripley and Newt together, almost some of the same scenes, some of the same compositions. They have a chick in there who is Ripley, right down to the tank top, doing cool military shit. They even got her in a carrier, like that looks like something out of Aliens. It is such a horrible pastiche of things that they just ripped off from other movies, and they call themselves fans. What these guys, they cheapened the legacy of these movies by just reducing them to effects films. And you know what? I admire these guys. They, as far as doing a lot with their knowledge of effects, they have done it, man. If you look at their IMDb page, they have, I'm going to go to their page right here. That's Colin Strauss, one of the guys. But if you look at their visual effects, they have 83 films that they have worked on. Incredible Hulk, Avatar, Book of Eli, Iron Man 2. Shit, they got Baywatch coming up.
Okay.
Hell, these motherfuckers, they even worked on an Usher video.
Well, come here, baby, and let daddy show you what it feel like.
I need some effects for this song. Special effects.
Did they put in the auto-tune?
They put special effects on his voice. Alien comes out his mouth. I love Usher, man. I'm joking. But, and I admire that they've been able to have a diversified resume of projects, music videos, different genres of films. And they even did a movie later on called, what was that movie called, Ian, that they did? The movie that they did with the alien attack? Skyline. If anybody ever saw that.
Oh, that was them?
That was them.
Oh.
And that's when
no.
That's when that shit got yanked from them. They're like, just go back to the effects department, man.
Right.
Keep your ass over there. We'll call you when we need you for something. Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Here's a box.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the topper right here, man. They're like, okay, you know what? Yeah, that last hybrid, that was messed up, man. But ours is gonna be cool because not only are you gonna get an alien hybrid, but it's gonna be a hybrid with the Predator. And that shit came out looking like an alien that just came from the Bob Marley Fest.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah, man. It looked like this motherfucker should have a bong in his hand right now. This is sad. Rasta alien, man, and they made such a big deal out of that. You know what? I'm glad that you never saw it. It is a waste of time.
Yeah.
We always say, man, you should see this to believe it. No, fuck this movie, man.
Wow.
The reason why it's so important to criticize this movie for being just a flat slasher horror film is because they didn't play to the nature of the creatures that they know. They think they know so well. The Predators, they don't harm people if people don't pose a threat.
True.
They won't hurt children. They won't hurt women. They won't hurt a guy if they don't have any. They're not doing anything to them. In fact, they will admire people who can beat them. They come down like, well, shit. You're
like, hey, man, you did good. Here's an old pistol.
Yeah. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Pay your mortgage with that.
Shit, I got a check or something. The Predators won't do that, but in this movie, if you just made eye contact with them, they killed everybody with no explanation.
Oh, these are the paranoid predators.
Yeah. It was like,
what you looking at?
Yeah, they're
eyeballing me, boy.
Yeah, it was funny too because the people weren't even bothering them. I'm like, yeah, come here, motherfucker. Pete, that dude that they snatched, that dude was bothering nobody, man.
He was bothering nobody.
Shit, that's the janitor. He just got through cleaning up. He's like, well, time to go home. Do to the old fuck.
He was walking like he was going to do something. Are there any known actors in it?
No, none. No, not one. No. I tried to, and guess what?
Gone on to do other things.
And you ain't seen them shit since. That Predator might as well killed all of them. Kill their careers. Yeah, people. There you go. That is our. Well, I can't say our favorites, because they're not. But the ones that we like the most out of the shittier films.
The ones we hate the least.
Yeah, there you go. There you go to the ones that we can't stand. And look for our review coming out very soon. Let me get up to it right here, and we will have our review of Alien Covenant. Let me get to the trailer over here. Alien Covenant, man, and I can't wait to talk about it because people want to know now, is this going to be the one to finally bring it back on track? Ridley Scott, hey, he succumbed. He's like, all right, it's an alien movie, okay?
Right. Yeah, that we're embracing that. And with Prometheus, we got some good things about it, some bad, so you know what to fix.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm still going to bring that smart shit. So we'll see if it can work. Maybe they can find a great balance this time. Spoiler, the Predator shows up. Comes in the movie later on. Hey, man. Gamefly brings to your house, to you, over 8,000 new releases and classics that are available to rent, or you can buy them for almost every system out there, current and some old systems. Like I said, man, I've been trying to put my GameCube back to work for years. Gamefly is giving me an excuse to do that. And you could even try 30 days for free by typing in gameflyoffer.com/double toasted. And when you do that, you'll get 30 days for free of games and movies. Get all those things, all of them at once. Just stay in the house. Don't go nowhere because they're all going to get brought right to your mailbox. You can also bring the element of surprise every month to your home in the form of a Loot Crate mystery box. In that box, I can't tell you what it is, but I can guarantee you it is the best in geek and gaming gear. Some people say it's like having Comic-Con brought right to your home. You don't have to leave the house for nothing. You're getting all kind of stuff. And everybody likes a little surprise every month, just a little bit. And here's another surprise for you. You know, if you go to our link, trylootcrate.com/double toasted, and you type in bridge 10, that's the word bridge and the number 10, you can get 10% off, a 10% discount on your first crate. How's that for a surprise right there? Loot Crate, bring the mystery and the surprise to your mailbox once a month with Loot Crate. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and go over to our home, doubletoasted.com, for more videos and live streams. And remember, stay toasty.